Hello cyclists, today the kick bikes from Spain, the new foldable revolution. As you probably have noticed, there are more and more foldable bicycles or very compact bikes not flooding the market but popping up here and there, and brands like Brompton or Ado, they really have to watch out because in my opinion the kick bikes are a really cool and new addition to this special sector. And today I compared two models, no, not really comparing, more like introducing two models. The one is the Barcino and the one is the Genava. And before we dive into more of the folding process, etc., we take those two black beauties on a test ride. The Genava is a very lightweight, super cool and agile folding bike. And by that I mean the motor feels absolutely natural, even though it is super strong with 18 Newton meters of torque. Maybe just to give you a comparison, most of the regular e-bikes I test on the channel have more or less 40 to maybe 50 Newton meters of torque. And those bikes are much heavier. Nah, not much heavier, but heavier. And therefore the 80 are really like super strong. But as we have 5 different modes of pedal assistance in total, and most of the time I was choosing the pedal assistance 2, it doesn't feel like the motor is like super strong. So, and that's actually something I really like, because most of the time I choose rather not so much assistance because I want to exercise, you know. It's not like riding a little motorcycle where I just push the pedal, but actually the motor is doing all the work. So actually that felt really nice. And also, I think it's called clutch. That means that even if I turn off the motor completely, it feels like a regular bike, because there are some systems when you switch off the motor, you cannot really cycle your bicycle, because then it feels as if you've chosen like the gear number 1, and it's very difficult to ride the bike at all, but not with this bike. There were some inclines. I was cycling in this very flat town of Hamburg, and I mean, I got up to the highest mode of pedal assistance with the number 5, and it was super easy to tackle this incline. So it's very cool for cities, even if you do have some hills or inclines. The motor is located in the middle, and that's very specific and very special, because if you compare other folding bikes, most of them have the motor located in the rear hub and some have them in the front hub. But if you have it in the middle, it even gives you a more natural riding experience. My model has 3 gears. It's a Shimano Nexus with 3 gears that are very well balanced, so I felt very comfortable every test ride I made. But there are other models, and I think you can even choose up to 7 or 8 gears. I would definitely recommend to check out the website, because on the website you also see that my model here has a belt drive, a carbon belt drive from a company called Michelin. But you can also choose a gearing system with a regular chain. But in my opinion, I would always choose, of course, a belt drive, because super silent, super smooth riding, and lasts up to 3 times longer than a regular chain and needs hardly any attention. And by that I mean you only have to clean it if it's like super dirty. What made this whole riding experience very comfortable is a suspension in the rear, and it looks very cool. I was cycling the worst cobblestone road you can imagine, and it was okay. And that means something, because usually like my whole body is shaking and getting a massage, but it was absolutely okay with this rear suspension. This is a teeny tiny incline, and just a few pedal strokes and ta-da! I could even talk. So super easy. The Genava is definitely one of the lightest folding e-bikes on the market, if not even maybe the lightest e-bike, with 15.5 kilograms. Well, this is of course without any rear fenders or a rear rack, but then you touch like, I'd say 16.5, maybe 17 kilograms. So still easy to fold and to carry. So the sitting position that you can of course adjust, in combination with the ergo grips, feels very comfortable, because I'm a big fan of ergo grips because I don't like so much weight on my wrists or on my shoulders. The Barcino is, I would say, the sporty brother of the Genava, because one of the big differences is indeed that the motor is located in the rear hub, so you rather have the feeling of being pushed, and then it's not so like natural or well balanced when in comparison to a motor in the middle. But of course the Barcino also has a torque sensor, so it's also very natural. So the moment you push the pedal and decide how hard you push the pedal, when you push it really hard, the more support you get. If you push it not so much, then of course you do not get so much support from the motor. So it is indeed like riding a regular bike, but of course with the support of the motor. As you can see, the sun is coming from behind and I still can read what's happening on my little display that is located in the middle of the handlebars. So that's also a difference to the Genava. And I would say that the display of the Genava is, the quality is a bit better in terms of readability, and also what is shown and how it is shown. I mean, I always ask myself how much or how important is it, like what information do you really need, like how fast you are? Yes, of course, you want to see it, maybe. Then what mode of pedal assist you're in, and of course that's most important for me, how the battery is charged. So how many kilometers are left until the battery is dead and I have to push just with my muscle strength. The motor indeed has also 10 modes of pedal assistance, and I'm not 100% sure because this motor has 14 Newton meters of torque and obviously 250 watt-hours, but I think maybe something was switched, or maybe I did choose the wrong settings, because this motor is definitely stronger. So I'm in pedal assist level number 1 and I just push a few more pedal strokes and I'm already like cycling 29 kilometers, and people, I would say I pedal a lot, but I'm not like the strongest cyclist, so absolutely 100% not possible, even though this bicycle is very lightweight, that I reach like 30 kilometers just with 3-4 pedal strikes. So I have to check with Q.ik what's happening with this bicycle. But indeed, most of the time I was cycling in the first level of pedal assistance, but I always check also how it feels like if you do not have any support at all. And in this case, it is a single speed, so that's also a difference, because the Genava has 3 gears and this one has only 1 gear. And the transmission is pretty tough, I would say. So it took me some strength and some time to really generate some speed. But if you do reach the speed, then it's very easy to maintain it. So for me, as you probably know when you watch some of my reviews, for me the best speed or velocity to travel within the city is like 18, 20, 22 kilometers. And that was absolutely okay and easy. And because also, of course, this bicycle with 15.5 kilograms is super lightweight. The frame geometry is the same as the Genava, and also the very compact, as most of the foldable bikes of course are. It's like, yeah, it's so much fun. I really like cycling it. Also the same is of course that the battery is located in the seat post. So that's why this beautiful design is possible. You don't have any extra external battery somewhere located on the frame. So that's actually something, I know a few manufacturers do that by now, but I think it's a very cool solution definitely for the battery, that it's like part of the bicycle, of the frame, so to say. Also very important if you cycle an e-bike, that you do have brakes that work really well. And in this case, it's Shimano hydraulic disc brakes that worked really, really well. I was also cycling it. I was waiting for some rain, and I had some wet pavements and streets, and they were also working really well. In combination, of course, with the Schwalbe tires that do a really good job. I was cycling over really bad cobblestone just to see if the suspension is working as well as with the Genava, but it indeed is. So my arms were shaking a lot, but like the rest of my body, felt really comfortable. So as far as you can feel comfortable when cycling over really bad cobblestone. So overall, I really like it. The Barcino. Oh, by the way, all the names, I asked them because the names of the kick bikes are really beautiful, and it's all Latin names from big cities and capitals in Europe. So very sophisticated. By the way, you can only order the bicycles online up to now because it's a brand new brand from Spain. And I know that they are working on building a network of bike shops that can help you with servicing the bikes, or just in case there is an issue. But up to now, you have to contact Kick via the website, and they will help you just in case something is wrong. But concerning service, due to the fact that most of the parts are absolutely standard, you can go to any bike shop. Well, the only, of course, thing that you have to keep in mind is that the battery as well as the motor is something that you have to contact Kick. So as you can see, I would say those two bicycles are definitely a really cool alternative or option for people who do commute a lot and maybe have to store their bicycle or have to carry their e-bike. And therefore, with the 15.5 kilograms, or if you add fenders or a rear carrier, then it's maybe 1 or 2 kilograms more. But it's definitely okay. I mean, even for me, and I don't do like, I don't go to the gym that much. I can carry up, I would say, 1 or 2, maybe 3 flights of stairs without being bothered too much. So very compact to store and very easy to lift. Well, one thing I have to say is the battery. I really like the solution that the seat post is indeed the battery, so that the battery is concept of the whole frame. I mean, there are more and more manufacturers offering that solution. You have a range of 40 to 65 kilometers for both bikes, always, of course, as I said, depending on how heavy you are, how you cycle, how much support you want. The only downside in this solution for me is that I found it a bit tricky and fiddling, like getting the cable to connect the motor with the battery down here. And I'm not 100% sure, like when it's raining or if it's very muddy, how dirty the whole situation down there becomes. But I think there are 2 like magnets, so it's a bit easier to plug it in, but it's a new concept. You really have to practice it. What you don't have to practice, and then thank God, because everyone is so happy about this Brompton swoosh folding process, and also Ahuga, another manufacturer, offers that. I really had to practice, but with this solution I didn't have to practice. I got it immediately, so it's only a few steps. You put down the battery, the seat post, then you open the folding mechanism in the middle of the frame, fold it, and the last thing you have to do is just like take care of the handlebars. And then you do have this teeny tiny package. I really like also that, like, how do they stick together? Well, that's just, it's 2 magnets and they really stick. So I was carrying around the bike a bit and it was really working. And it's not too difficult to get those magnets out of each other so that they're not sticking anymore. Very important if you do live in Germany, of course, if it's street compliant. So you do have reflectors in the tires, as you can see. but also an extra reflector in the spokes. You have a front light with a reflector. You do have a reflector in the back, but what it's missing, it is a rear light, and I don't get it. There's probably a good reason why there is no rear light attached, but I mean, why? It's the battery. It should be like super easy. Maybe it's something that's coming in the future, but that's two things I would say there's room for improvement. Overall, the design, I really like it. It's a bit modern, futuristic, yet not too complicated. And speaking about design, well, this whole rear suspension situation that you can even individualize, it's patented. And I mean, those two solutions are really cool. I was cycling over really bad cobblestone, and today I again tested both bikes, but I couldn't really feel a difference concerning the suspension. But maybe if you cycle the bikes for a few months, then you would really feel the difference between those solutions. But definitely, absolutely beautiful, if you ask me, because I bet it's very complicated to invent something like that, but it looks really beautiful and very clean and chic. These bikes they start from 2,400 euros, depending always if you do have a belt drive or if you do have a chain. I was choosing indeed the belt drive solutions because, in my opinion, if you do cycle a lot, they are easier to handle because they don't need so much service. And if you hold the bike a lot or carry it a lot, I mean, very clever me, I was wearing bright colors today, as you can see, and if I was handling the bikes, of course, they got dirty a bit, but I haven't automated the folding process yet. But so if you ask me, I would probably always choose the belt drive. This is very new because the Barcino has a 3 internal gearing system in the back, and in the future they will also offer a chain version with 7 gears. So then you do have even more options what gear to choose, and you're even more flexible. Speaking about flexibility, as of course you can take out the battery to charge it, that gives you all the flexibility you need, and the battery gives you an option of 40 to 60 kilometers. But there are 2 different sizes, and I would recommend check out the website and then decide what size you want. And that also has an influence, of course, on the weight of the bicycle, but not too much. Also, if you want maybe another color, so this is the very carbon looking version, and this is the matte black. All those color options are very classic, and I'll link you also to the website and you see it here, what other color options you have. In my opinion, very well chosen. The bicycles start around 2,400 euros and they go up to more or less like 3,000 euros. And you can only order them online, of course. But in the future, I would say that quite a lot of bike shops would be happy to deal with those beauties, because I think they're very promising and I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in the future. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any new gear reviews that are coming quite frequently, especially during bike season. And if you do have questions, or if you do want to leave some criticism, constructive criticism, please be nice to me. I'm always happy to explain more. I'll give you deeper insights. And also leave a comment like, what do you think about those new bikes from Spain?